Yet another test answer that's coming to a school near you. You have, if you live outside of Texas, which you have to ask yourself why, but if you live outside of Texas, you're gonna have something really special called Common Core in your schools, and this is nationwide. If you don't know about it, you really need to learn about it quickly. It is really nasty, and there's nothing common in this core at all. There's not anything in there that you're going to agree with. Common Core is what you have. In Texas, we stood up against Common Core and said not in our schools, and instead what we grabbed onto was CSCOPE. Here's another fantastic CSCOPE answer to a test.
When Kara Sands posted this test on her Facebook page, it began to spread like wildfire. The test covers content watched on a video in class. What bothered her most? Number 3 on this test that asked why the U.S. may be a target for terrorism. The correct answer: decisions we made in the United States that negatively impact people elsewhere.
I'm not going to justify radical terrorists by saying we did anything to deserve that. Over 3,000 people died.
Sen says she contacted her son's principal and teacher. Both met with her and contacted the video's distributor, Safari Montage. Representatives say they stand behind the video, but have already changed the corresponding quiz. But Sen says this quiz opened her eyes to the content and lessons taught at the school. Her biggest concern? Curriculum called CSCOPE. This worksheet on the Bill of Rights names food and medicine as rights, not personal responsibility.
He got marked wrong. Instead of that. Okay. Right. Because it is our responsibility for shelter. It is our responsibility, if we can, for food, for medicine. It's not the government's responsibility.
Flower Bluff officials say Sands is the only parent to complain about the test specifically, but her post on Facebook now has 1,662 likes.
Is that incredible? She's the only one to complain. One parent complained about it. I don't know if the rest just don't pay attention.
How many parents say, "What'd you learn in school today?" Nothing. We talked about, I had a test, and that's where it ends.
Yeah.
And that's where it ends. And that's the problem, and that's why they can get away with it. And anybody who thinks that this is not being taught in your school, listen, it is much, much worse than we thought. It is much worse than we ever thought. 2 years ago, we knew it was bad. 4 years ago, we thought it was pretty bad. Now we know it is beyond any of your wildest thoughts. The indoctrination that is going on in CSCOPE and with Common Core is beyond your understanding. And I mean, have you guys seen, Pat, have you seen anything worse than this? As far as indoctrination, have you seen anything worse than what's going in?
No, I don't think so.
Have you seen anything worse than this in any college class?
Not that I can remember.
Yeah. I mean, it is as bad. You remember the guy who came out and he was, what was his name? He was in Colorado. Surprise, surprise. Yeah. And he was like, I'm an Indian. No, you're not.
Ward Churchill.
Ward Churchill.
Yeah.
Remember how bad that was?
Yeah.
This is what is in the curriculum now. Ward Churchill is in the curriculum. Though that kind of thinking is what we are spoon-feeding our children, and we do not last another generation. We do not. They are, if any damage that you think that we have done because we have been lax and not taught things, now we really are teaching things, and we are teaching incorrect principles. If you teach incorrect principles, man will not be able to rule himself. You teach a man correct principles, and man can rule himself. They are teaching all of the incorrect principles. It's not a right. God didn't give you a right to food and medicine. He gave you a right to live. He gave you a right to yourself and to pursue an opportunity. You know who gave you a right to housing? You know who gave you a right to food? Adolf Hitler, Stalin, and Mao. Congratulations if you want it. Oh, my gosh, and our states are in so much trouble. Even the state of California, state of Texas is in big, big trouble. And we got to wake up. Got to wake up. Here's the warning bell, guys. Please find out everything you can about Common Core. Start having meetings. Start having parents get together. Look for it online. Look for somebody who is a leader on this in your area. Between Agenda 21, Common Core, what they're doing to our financial system, and what they're about to do with our guns, you will not make it. When I say you won't make it, I mean, I don't think we're going to make it. I think we're out before you are. You think somebody who is on the air, and I mean this for all talk radio people, do you think people who are on the air, who are standing against an oppressive government, do you think you survive? Do you think at the best, do you think you keep your job? These people who are working for newspapers and not reporting on this stuff, do you really think it's going to matter soon? When the economy tanks, when we become Cyprus, when we become Greece, and there's no advertising left, your newspaper is out of business. And so what happens? The government gets in. Now the government has all of its hands in all of the reporting. Worse than it is now. There's not a chance that there's any truth.